So you are aware of the documentation. I have shown you that it exists, and you know that there's a source of truth, or there's a place where you can go look at the manual when you are ready. Please don't spend any time there, because it probably best case is going to be unhelpful. Worst case, it's going to be really frustrating and make you feel like you don't know anything, and we want to avoid that. If you want to look at something, you could go to the Python tutorial, and then you could look at this to get a list of options that lists have from the people who maintain Python. You could find a similar list in a zillion places. So there's nothing sacred about this other than, as I said, the Python Foundation is in charge of this. What we are about to do is run. I'm going to put so I'm right below our countries by population. We'll get back down to our animals and so on here in a minute. But I'm going to put in here, lists have methods, okay? Method is a scary word, all right? What is a method? Okay, a method is some code that Python has written, or I'll put built into the language, that works on a variable. Okay, this is not perfect. This is based on what you know right now, because technically we can write methods, and technically they belong to objects, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Based on what we know, a method is going to be a piece of code that Python has written or built into the language that works on a variable. I'll put /data type / a data structure, and I'll put in parentheses a class or an object. This part do not worry about right now. We will get to that. So far, we have run lots of what are called functions. We're about to talk about how to make them ourselves. But print is a command, right, or a function, meaning that's a block of code that's built somewhere inside of Python that we don't have to write. We just get to use their code. Okay, we don't need to run that against anything. We can just write print and then do those parentheses like this, right? Open, close is what I call them, because we're opening up the parentheses and then we're closing them. We're putting something inside of it. We don't need to run if on a variable. We can just simply start writing if or while, or take your pick. A method is a function that belongs to something specific. In this case, we have our countries by population. So we can do dot, right, and then run a piece of code that's built into Python. We are going to do dot append. And we're going to put in here, and then I will just show you Pakistan. Let's go back up top here. I'm going to copy line 20, and I'm going to paste it in right below line 26. The length of countries by pop, I'm going to change this to is now. Okay, so we get two different statements here. The length of countries by pop is this, and then we print it again after we run this append thing. Let's come over. Let's run our code. The length of countries by pop is 4. The length of countries by pop is now 5. Alrighty? This is one of the super awesome things about Python, or about programming languages. Lists, every list, if you're a list, you come with the append method, meaning this is a bit of code that belongs to all lists that will add one variable, whatever it is that you give it, to the end of the list. Okay, so let's put that comment in there. The append method belongs to all lists. That means if you are a list, you can run dot append open close. Alrighty? Whatever is inside of the parentheses is what you will add to the end of the list. In this case, back up top here, we have the top 4 countries by population. Pakistan, at least as of making this video, would be next. So we can take our list, do dot append. Append is a block of code that Python has written for us that we can't find unless we look really, really hard. And dot append will take whatever we give it. So we have this open close here. Whatever we put in there will get put onto the end of the list. And so that's why line 32, when we print off the length of countries by population, it has grown by 1. Okay, so back over here, they've got that list dot append, and then they hand it X here, which is just a placeholder. This will add an item to the end of the list. Don't worry about the rest of that part.